Welcome to Bradley Tech High School.
Hi, I'm Aaron Shapiro, the proud principal of Bradley Tech and Trade, where our goal is to graduate every student with the necessary skills to build a prosperous future in the technology and trade fields by providing students grade-appropriate work, strong instruction, deep engagement, and high expectations.
Welcome to Bradley Tech.
Hi everybody, welcome to our MPS and Bradley Tech Policy session. My name is Glenn Dowers and I'm the assistant principal here at Bradley Tech High School. Today our session is based upon the MPS Employee Handbook as well as the Bradley Tech Staff Manual. Our exit expectations are very simple. You should have received in an email prior to this particular session the MPS Employee Handbook and the Bradley Tech Staff Manual. If you have not received those, please notify us at the end of this session so we can make sure those are emailed to you. You have hopefully received them, and if you have, that's the first exit expectation. The second exit expectation is that you have signed the district receipt document. The receipt document simply says, I, your name, acknowledge that I have received the Bradley Tech 2021-2022 Staff Manual and am responsible for the content of all material contained herein, along with adhering to all Milwaukee Board of School Directors policies and procedures, including but not limited to the following. And then we give you an entire list of things that we're going to be talking about today. The receipt continues by saying, additionally, I acknowledge that I am responsible for reading, understanding, and complying with the MPS Employee Handbook. It's important that as part of our exit expectations and responsibility to continue your employment with Milwaukee Public Schools, that we have this signed and put on file before the end of this week. Our session expectations today are that we are going to highlight important parts from both documents. Our goal is to answer questions or refer you to a person with the correct answer. And the overall goal for the entire session is that we all want to be on the same page. The Milwaukee Public School 5 priorities for success: increase academic achievement and accountability, improve district and school culture, develop our staff, ensure fiscal responsibility and transparency, and strengthen communication and collaboration, really are entailed in this session by virtue that all of these 5 items are a part of the professionalism of being an employee at Milwaukee Public Schools. If you have any questions while I'm going through this entire session, please put the questions in the chat. Either Mr. Eddy, our Dean of Students, or myself will try to answer them at the end of the session. I know Mr. Eddy is going to be following along, and he may be able to answer some of those questions while I'm giving the presentation. The areas that we intend to highlight in this session are taken from page 21 to 22 in the Tech Manual and pages 10 to 11 in the MPS Handbook, where it's listed 3.01, the Employee Rules of Conduct. Now we're going to be more explicit and go in detail on a number of these items. It is still important you understand that you are responsible to know and understand everything that's in the Tech Manual and the MPS Handbook, even though we're only going to highlight a number of them. For the 21-22 school year, we have started what we call Techspectations. They're basically the expectations we have of our students. But these particular expectations also apply to our faculty and our staff. And we're going to start off by going through and basically highlighting each of the Techspectations and then coordinating them and correlating them with the expectations we have of our staff. The first one is engage in productive work. Now, when you take a look at MPS 3.01, they say that you're not productive when there's insubordination, including disobedience, failure, or refusal to carry out directions, assignments, or instructions. When not reporting to work, or when you do, you're impaired. Or unexcused or excessive absenteeism or tardiness, including failure to follow appropriate reporting procedures. All staff must call the office 30 minutes before the start of the workday to report an absence. When reporting an absence, indicate your duty responsibilities and/or special events or circumstances for the day that you are absent. It's important you understand that staff must call in each day they will be absent. If a substitute teacher is needed, you must call the Substitute Teacher Automatic System. We call it ASOP, and that number is listed on the screen. Or you can log into Frontline, and that particular URL is listed there, to enter your absence information. Now, important to note, reporting your absence to ASOP is not a substitution for and does not remove the requirement to call the school and report your absence. Absence of more than 3 consecutive days will require a statement from a physician. The teacher workday is actually 8 hours, including a 30-minute paid duty-free lunch. Our workday here at Bradley Tech is from 7:30 a.m. to 3:30 a.m. Now, staff members are not to leave the building except during their scheduled lunch period without the approval of the principal or the principal's designee. School meetings and professional development occur during the 8-hour teacher workday. Now, the morning meetings will occur on Tuesdays and Thursdays. They start at 7:30 promptly. School grade level teams, committees, and departments will share the meeting, professional development, and planning time schedule for certified staff. Just like our students, we don't want our teachers or staff to be tardy. Teachers are expected to begin the workday at 7:30 a.m. They are to arrive at school prior to 7:30 a.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then at 8 a.m. on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Teachers arriving after the identified times will be issued a tardy card, and all staff, as a courtesy, must call alerting the school when you may be tardy. In addition to the normal workday schedule, there are several additional days where we will expect teachers as well as some other school-based staff members to be present. For example, we have open houses each semester. We also have parent conferences each semester, and we expect that our staff will be present. Our second Techspectation of our students, and of course of our staff as well, is commitment to continuous improvement. When we look at MPS 3.01, we find that no commitment includes failure, refusal, or negligence in the performance of assigned duties, loafing, loitering, sleeping, or engaging in unauthorized personal business, or failure or refusal to comply with school departmental work rules, policies, and procedures. Part of your commitment to your task here at Bradley Tech is also the acceptance and the follow-through of the MPS Acceptable Use Policy. The AUP generally states that your access to the internet through the MPS network cannot be used for the following unacceptable reasons: inappropriate or illegal activities, political, commercial, or financial gain, or intentional disruption of any services either in the district or here at the local school. Under no circumstances should a user share his or her ID and password. It's equally important that as you type in your ID and password, that students or even other staff members aren't able to see. A violation of the acceptable use policy can result in suspension or revocation of internet, email, or network access, and also could involve disciplinary or legal action. Under commitment, teachers will maintain lesson plans on a weekly basis that will be kept readily available in the classroom during instructional times. Please be aware, an administrator may ask to see them during one of the mini or walk-through observations. Prepare at the beginning of the school year a substitute teacher folder, which will be kept in the office and which should be updated periodically throughout the year. This is vital. We do and will expect substitutes in our building throughout the year. If they don't have material, the kids will no longer be engaged. And finally, utilize and implement the district-adopted materials, including texts, scope and sequences, and instructional materials. We really want our teachers and our students to be successful. And that begins with some of the things that we expect our teachers will do right from the start of a new class. At the beginning of each year or each semester, it's imperative that teachers provide students and parents with a written course syllabus, a class description, and the grading policy. It needs to be written out so it's available anytime. We expect that our teachers will maintain accurate seating charts or plans for all the classes and be kept with the lesson plan book for substitute teacher use. This is really important. When you're not there, we need that so that we can figure out attendance as well as be able to go and assist in our classroom management. And finally, we need to post and review with all classes the daily classroom schedules, the course objectives, and the things that you're going to do that day, as well as the agendas for all students and guests to be able to see. The third Techspectation is maintain a safe and clean environment. This is pretty important, especially since we work together in a close quarters. While our building may seem large, you'll be surprised when 1,000 kids enter into our building and all of our staff, suddenly this big building can get rather close. According to MPS 3.01, one of the ways in which our building can become an unsafe environment is when staff and teachers fail to comply with health, safety, and sanitation requirements, rules, and regulations. This is especially pertinent right now as we are in COVID-19 protocols. All of our staff and students are expected to wear face coverings while inside of our building. MPS 3.01 also highlights that a not safe environment could include unauthorized accessing, disclosure, or copying of confidential information or records. A violation of federal, state, and or local laws or ordinances which are substantially job-related or render the employee unavailable for work due to incarceration. These both are examples of a not safe environment. But this particular one is of significance. MPS 3.01 says, engaging in activity that significantly distracts from the school district's image or reputation. It's important you understand that even though you are employed in the building for 8 hours, you are still a representative of the Milwaukee Public Schools by your employment. If you do something that's even outside of our particular 8-hour day, you're in the mall and you disrespect a parent, or possibly you are a part of something that becomes visible on media or in social media that somehow distracts from the school district's image or reputation, there are potential possibility of grounds for discipline and possibly even dismissal. One of the most important things about the education in this building is that it has to be a safe place for our kids and staff to be. School security is the responsibility of all employees. Keys should never be entrusted to students. Keys being returned to the office after the key case has been secured for the day should be placed in the drop box located on the west side of the office, not in a drawer in your desk or left on someone else's desk in the office. Staff members may not prop open exterior doors ever. As part of the security and making this a safe place to be, we expect that all teachers will have voicemail. It's one of the ways in which we go and talk and share information with our teachers, both through voicemail and through the regular mailboxes, and thirdly, through the email capabilities. It's important that you check all three all the time. Now, voicemail boxes must be checked for messages regularly. We're recommending each morning, noon, and after school. And it's important that you respond to voicemail messages in a timely manner. We really want you to get back to especially parents as soon as possible, usually in less than 24 hours. The voicemail box must be programmed with a greeting and passcode in order to begin receiving and retrieving messages. We encourage you to make sure you take care of that before the end of this week. Okay, here's a few more teachers will. Now, it's important that teachers will provide supervision in the hallways as students dismiss until the floor is clear. That's really a big deal because that way we can maintain a safe environment. We also expect that teachers will take attendance within 10 minutes of the start of class and then update attendance as late students arrive to ensure accurate attendance records. Just like we talked about earlier when it came to voicemail and email, it's important that you communicate regularly with parents. That could be on voicemail and responding in a call back. It could be in person if a parent picks up a child after school and you're able to talk to the parent about their children. Those are all exceptional examples of communicating regularly with parents. But it's important that you document those communications within Infinite Campus in what we call the PLP Notes section. It's basically a database that shows that you have made contact with parents, both good and bad, on a regular basis. And we expect that you'll maintain communication with parents regarding especially student progress. That includes even their behavior. Notify parents in a timely manner prior to issuing a failing grade. In order to make this a safe and secure place, it's important that teachers will always contact the safety desk or administration when a student needs to be escorted to another location. That could be the bathroom, the office, the VFZ, or possibly even to another classroom. It's important that teachers will report at once to the office students who leave the classroom or the building without permission and they don't have an escort. And finally, it's important we expect that our teachers will handle routine discipline problems and be effective classroom managers throughout the day. While we try to be positive and always say teachers will, this one is teachers will not give any medications, including aspirin, to students without written consent. You don't know what students are allergic to, and you can be held liable even if you give them a cough drop with medication. Only the nurse or the principal assigned staff member will store and give out medications of any type. Just like other schools, sometimes we need to fundraise to be able to pay for trips or other activities or maybe a special uniform. It's important you understand that the principal must approve all fundraising authorization forms in advance of any fundraising activity. They have to be pre-approved. Any money collected from a fundraiser must be deposited into the office using a cash receipt form on a daily basis. This is a big deal. No money is to be kept in classrooms or removed from the building ever. And no expenses are to be paid out of cash. All money collected from students is to be turned into the office along with a completed cash receipt form. A school check will be issued to any vendor. That's why we don't pay with cash. Teachers are not to use their personal checking account or cash to pay for vendor materials or services. And checks from parents should be made out to the school, never to the teacher. No staff member is to make purchases without the approval of the principal. So if you need something for your department or your classroom, talk to Mr. Shapiro before you purchase it. Students may not use the beverage machine in the staff lounge to purchase a soda. And staff members are not to buy drinks for students from the beverage machine, even as an incentive. As part of the safety and security of our building, we also will have at least once a month a fire drill, and then usually for the first month we will have two. Two of our fire drills will even be observed by the Milwaukee Fire Department. When a fire alarm goes off, every person, child, and adult, without exception, is to exit the building during a fire drill. You never know if it's a drill. It could be real. Take your class roster with you. Close your windows and doors, and here's a key statement: do not lock your classroom door. Check your students and roster when you leave the building as well as when you return to verify that every one of your students is accounted for. Code Red is much more than simply a Mountain Dew energy drink. It's a serious format which we follow when there's an issue in our building or something that's occurring outside of our building. It very often could mean there's an intruder in our building, or an incident which involves someone who could potentially be an intruder is occurring outside of our building. Keep all students in class and then keep them away from doors and windows. Lock your classroom door. Teachers without assigned classes are to check the hallways and the bathrooms. The safeties will also do that as well. As soon as you find someone in a hallway or a bathroom, push them into the nearest classroom immediately. Alert the office to the location of an intruder, whether you see them out a window or you see one in our building. And maintain these actions until the all clear is given, usually over the intercom. On occasion, you might be confronted or even contacted by the media. But due to the unusual nature of situations and the importance of communicating up-to-date and accurate information, All media inquiries are to be directed to the principal, Mr. Shapiro, or maybe someone whom he has designated. They will then refer to and follow the district protocol process. Please don't do it yourself. The last Techspectation for our students as well as for our staff is share space effectively. MPS 3.01 gives an example of not sharing space effectively. It states, threatening, harassing, intimidating, interfering with, coercing, injuring, or using abusive language towards students, board employees, that includes teachers and staff, or the public. It's an example of not sharing space effectively. Ms. Bodie, our school social worker, would like to talk about this.
Hi guys, I'm here to talk to you about something that's really important to me. And it's important to me because it's important for our whole community of Bradley Tech. When we are interacting with each other, it's really important that we remember to keep our comments towards each other neutral, professional, kind would be nice, but never talking about each other's body types or how good we look or how not good we look or are you tired or sick, and especially not are you pregnant. I know that might seem weird that I'm saying this, but I've been asked so many times if I'm expecting. And guess what? My baby is now 13. So no, I just like cheese fries. That's how it is. And did I lose weight? I sure did, but there's no need to comment about it. Maybe you can tell someone you like their smile. Or, hey, it's great to see you. But let's not talk about our hair or our body or how great that dress or slacks or tie looks on someone. We can all stay professional, kind, and keep those comments to ourselves because this is a place of business and this is a place of education. And by all means, we can give our students compliments, but let's be real careful on what we're saying to them. They're young and impressionable. Everyone, let's have a great year and just be mindful that we live in this space together, so we need to be respectful.
When we really look at the force Techspectations, when it applies to our staff, we're really saying in overall, we want us to be professional. Professionality in conduct and attire. Professional conduct is actually talked about in the Tech Page Manual 23 to 24. All staff members are expected to work as a school team to provide an outstanding educational program for our students. That includes that we expect you to model professional behaviors at all times in interacting with students, parents, colleagues, and the community. That means even after school if you're walking through the mall. Professional behavior includes being courteous to non-smoking staff and being respectful of our neighborhood. Ms. Navahar, one of our additional APs, would like to talk about this.
Hi, I'm Regina Navahar, and I'm going to talk about the MPS policy that addresses smoking on board premises. MPS policy states the use of tobacco products and electronic nicotine delivery devices, regardless of whether such devices actually contain nicotine, is prohibited at all times on board premises. If you need to partake in a tobacco break, please smoke away from door entries where other staff members walk through. The sidewalk is city property, so if you do smoke, please do so out of view of students. Thank you.
How often have we told ourselves, or for that matter, our students in our classroom, to dress for success? Professional attire is a component in establishing a professional community. In our Tech Pages 23 to 24, it outlines that staff members should dress in a business casual fashion. This will allow you to dress comfortably as you work with the children in your classroom and within the school environment. This screen shows you the difference between business professional attire and business casual attire. Please know that you can dress in business professional attire, but we're letting you know that we don't want you to dress below business casual attire. The MPS manual goes into much more detail when it comes to dress code as an employee of our school district. All employees contribute to the reputation of Milwaukee Public Schools in the way they present themselves. It states that all employees are expected to dress in a professional manner. No wind or tracksuits unless job-related. No sleepwear or loungewear. No halter tops. No sweatshirts or sweatpants. The dress code continues by saying no torn, worn, faded, distressed, or ripped clothing, even if newly purchased to look this way. No inappropriate length clothing. That includes shorts, skirts, midriff shirts, and sagging pants. No flip-flops. No hats or headwear indoors, excluding religious headwear and medical accommodations. Well, that brings us to the end of this particular session. Please understand that we haven't covered every single deal in the MPS Employee Handbook or the Bradley Tech Staff Manual. We've only highlighted some important things that we wanted you to for sure not miss. It is still your responsibility to read the MPS Employee Handbook and the Bradley Tech Staff Manual and then to abide by them. It's also important as part of the exit expectations that you have signed the district receipt document. Please, if you can take care of that before the end of today, that would be great. Thank you for being a part of our session. We appreciate that you came to listen to the 25 minutes of all the rules, regulations, and policies of your school district. At this time, we want to make sure that we've addressed every question that was in the chat. Many of them we've responded to as they were being presented. But at the same token, if we miss something, if there's something important, or for that matter, you come up with a question sometime during this next week, please make sure that you go and ask a tech administrator, or for that matter, you can even contact HR at MPS.